On February 2013, the last known living image of Elisa Lam was caught on a security camera inside the elevator of the Cecil Hotel in downtown Los Angeles. 5 days later, her battered body would be discovered floating in one of the hotel's water tanks. In the eerie footage, Elisa appears to be talking to herself and making strange hand movements as if she's warding off an invisible force. With each passing second, the mystery deepens, and it's no wonder that this video has racked up over 8 million views. Welcome back, I'm here. And today, we are going to take a deeper look into this case and find out what really happened in the elevator. But before we begin, click on that subscribe button to receive notifications for new updates. Also, don't forget to click on the like button and share this video with your friends. Without further ado, let's begin. The year is 2013, and Elisa Lam, a bright and artistic 21-year-old student from Vancouver, Canada, is in the midst of a cross-country trip through the United States with her sister. On January, the siblings arrived in Los Angeles and checked into the Cecil Hotel, formerly known as the Stay on Main. Little did they know that this rundown establishment was once referred to as the 𝐕𝐢𝐝𝐞𝐫𝐢𝐻𝐿𝐲𝐬𝐭𝐞𝐫𝐢𝐻𝐿𝐲 Skid Row Hotel, due to its proximity to some of LA's worst slums. It's also been dubbed the last stop before you make it, because so many of its guests have died there. Richard Ramirez, the Night Stalker, lived there. Jeffrey Dahmer, the Milwaukee Monster, stayed there. And serial killer Jack Unterweger once wrote a story about the hotel for Reader's Digest. And now Elisa and her sister would join the long line of troubled individuals who had made their way through the Cecil's doors. Elisa had been studying art and design at the University of British Columbia, but had taken a break after being diagnosed with bipolar disorder and borderline personality disorder. She was known by her friends to have mood swings and experience auditory hallucinations. As part of her treatment, she was taking medication including Abilify, which can cause weight gain and drowsiness, as well as Latuda, which can cause psychosis and suicidal thoughts. The first 3 nights passed without incident, and it wasn't until early on the morning of February when things took a turn for the worse. At around 2 a.m., Elisa got into the elevator alone. She was never seen alive again. Security cameras rolled as she stepped in and pushed the button for the 6th floor. From the start, something seemed off. She appeared agitated, keeping her eyes darting around as if looking for someone or something. She pressed the button again and then began moving her arms erratically, almost as if she were warding off an invisible presence. Even stranger, it seemed she was talking to someone, but no one was there. Was she having a psychotic episode? Was she hearing voices? Or was she trying to communicate with someone who wasn't there? Her behavior didn't go unnoticed. A night auditor working at the front desk noticed her odd behavior and left his post to check on her. When he approached the elevator, she looked at him, smiled, turned away, and pretended to be absorbed in her phone. He backed away, assuming she just needed some space, and returned to his work. Just a few minutes later, the elevator lurched back into action. Elisa exited and headed down to the lobby, where she proceeded to stand on the concierge's desk. For a moment, she seemed to calm down, but this lasted only a short time before she headed back to the elevator and disappeared from view. It wouldn't be long before the disturbing footage was leaked to the media. It quickly went viral, and with it came an onslaught of theories. Some believed that Elisa had overdosed on drugs. Others thought she might have been kidnapped. Many wondered if there was a more sinister presence lurking in the elevator with her. And it was this last theory that seemed to capture the most attention. After all, the building had its fair share of dark secrets. It was known as a haven for the city's most disturbed and violent individuals and had earned itself quite the reputation throughout the years. Elisa's own personal demons may have also played a role in her strange behavior. Those close to her knew that she suffered from severe mental health problems and had even been hospitalized for them in the past. Her sister and friends believed that something was wrong with her. They said that the hallways of the hotel may have appeared narrow and confining to her, possibly triggering an anxiety attack. However, there were those who believed that what they were witnessing was something altogether different. They thought that the video captured evidence of a haunting. One woman came forward claiming that she had stayed in the same room as Elisa and experienced similar symptoms. She said that whenever she stayed in room 632, she could hear people walking above her and shaking the bed as if someone was lying on it. Another guest claimed to have seen the ghost of a young girl standing in the hallway outside Elisa's room. Though these stories added an eerie twist to the tale, investigators remained skeptical. They saw no evidence of foul play and chalked up the video to a troubled mind. They searched the area around the hotel, but came up empty-handed, leading them to believe that whatever had happened to her, it had happened elsewhere. For a while, the search yielded no results. Then on February, 5 days after she was last seen, her battered body was pulled from the water tank on the roof. It was a tragic end to a mystery that had already captured the world's attention. How did she get there? Had she climbed up there willingly, or had she been forced? And what caused her death? Was it an accident, suicide, or something more sinister? To this day, no one knows exactly what happened in that elevator, but the footage offers us a glimpse into the troubled mind of a young woman who may have been struggling with more than just physical demons. If you think about it, her actions are both puzzling and heartbreaking. First, she gets into the elevator alone despite appearing anxious. Then she begins talking to herself and making strange hand movements as if trying to ward off an invisible threat. All the while, she seems hyper-aware of her surroundings, constantly glancing around. Did she feel watched? Was she sensing a malevolent presence? And then there's the matter of her demeanor. In the moments leading up to her death, she appeared calm and collected, almost peaceful. This is puzzling because anyone who has ever seen someone having a psychotic break knows that it's not a pretty sight. These episodes are often marked by wild mood swings, unpredictable behavior, and an inability to connect with reality. Yet here is Elisa, seemingly in the throes of a psychotic break, yet appearing strangely serene. Could this have been a sign of extreme fatigue, or perhaps something more sinister? Whatever the case, it's important to remember that these are just theories. We will never know what truly happened in that elevator. But what we do know is that Elisa's death was a tragedy. She was a bright young woman with a lot of potential, but her struggles with mental illness ultimately led to her demise. In the aftermath of her death, many called for increased safety measures at the Cecil Hotel. They felt that management had failed to address the building's history of violence and neglect. Others argued that Elisa's death was simply a tragic consequence of mental illness. There was a lot of talk about the need for more compassion and understanding towards those suffering from mental illness, as well as the need for more resources to help them cope with their condition. Ultimately, though, we may never know exactly what happened in that elevator. And that's what makes the case of Elisa Lam such a chilling one. It's a reminder that sometimes the scariest monsters are the ones we can't see. That's all for today. What are your thoughts on the case of Elisa Lam? Do you think something sinister happened in that elevator, or was it just a tragic case of mental illness? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Also, don't forget to click on that subscribe button to receive notifications for new updates. Thank you for watching and stay tuned for more.